Hi and welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about 4 different ways to become a midwife in the UK. Look, I've had midwives in my private coaching program saying to me, Melvis, you're not saying anything about us, so I've decided to do this video so that I can kind of satisfy those midwives. So basically, there are 4 different ways that you can become a midwife in the UK. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're in the UK right now or you're out. It doesn't matter whether you trained in the UK or not. There is going to be one of these pathways that is perfect for your personal circumstances. So you want to make sure that you find out what all 4 pathways are in order to make a more informed decision. And look, I like pathway number 1 because you're kind of in charge, you're in control. I like pathway number 2 because it's really smart. I like pathway number 3 because it tends to be the cheapest way to become a midwife in the UK. And I like pathway number 4 because it is the smartest of all the pathways. But the more you know about the first 3 pathways, the more likely you are to be successful with pathway number 4, which basically means that you need to know about all 4 pathways in order to decide. So if you're new to my channel, obviously, you're welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, I do appreciate your time. And look, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, you do want to hit that subscribe button now so that you are the first person to be notified every single day when I drop a new video on here. Also, I do have a free newsletter where I send information directly to your inbox about career progression opportunities in the UK, such as this one in today's video, work from home jobs that you can do from the comfort of your home without moving whatsoever, as well as free UK visa sponsorship opportunities, you know what I mean, to move to the UK or to switch your visa without spending millions of money, without spending thousands of pounds, without even knowing whether you're going to have a job or not. But most importantly, I also share information about side business ideas. Look, I love side hustles because I'm on a mission to retire before I'm 40 years old. So if I'm working at the age of 40, it shouldn't be because I'm broke. So if you check the comment section below, I've dropped a link to my newsletter. Once you join that newsletter, then I send that info directly to your inbox. Because look, the goal that I've got is career progression in the UK, get to the top, and then once you're at the top, you then use your knowledge, your experience, your skills, all the opportunities that there are in this beautiful country in order to start your own side business so that you can retire early, because you don't want to be working at the age of 70. Because look, if you're watching this video right now, it means that by the time you and I are retiring, according to the government's plans, we will likely be 80 years old. The truth is that many of us are not going to make it to 80. So you want to enjoy life while you can. And so that's why I share all of this information. That's why I'm so passionate about career progression. My own journey, I started as a carer in the UK, studied nursing in this country, and now I've progressed to the most senior clinical nursing position. So I work right now for the NHS as an advanced nurse practitioner. So when I'm telling you these things, I'm talking from a place of experience, I'm talking from a place of knowledge, and I'm talking from a place of, I know what I'm talking about basically. So let's get started. The first pathway is applying directly to university to become a midwife. As you know, anybody can work. And by the way, all the brothers, look, you're not left out. Midwifery is not only for the women. If you're a man, you can also apply. And in fact, many of the women that have had the privilege to be cared for by male midwives, they have said that it's been an incredible experience. So please, it's not only for women, it's for you brothers as well. So encourage your husbands as well to get into midwifery and nursing, obviously. No bias here, the fact that I'm a nurse, but you know what I mean? I'm always going to talk about nursing. So again, that's the first pathway. You apply directly to university and you start your journey to become a midwife. Obviously, it's 3 years. If you apply through this pathway, you're going to be funding yourself, obviously. So again, remember, there are some of these pathways that are going to be funded, so you want to make sure that you're aware of what they are. So pathway number 1, you will be funding your own fees, but the advantage is that you can do it when you like, which means if you watch this video now and you're like, I'm going to apply to study midwifery from September of 2023, you can do that. And the best thing about midwifery in the UK is that it's also one of those courses that has a very, very good employability rate, which means you're 100% guaranteed a job if you study midwifery. So you want to consider pathway number 1. Again, I have a private career coaching program where I support nurses, carers, midwives, indeed, student nurses, students, prospective student nurses, Anybody that is looking for free UK visa sponsorship opportunities, whether you're still out of the UK or you're already in this beautiful country, I can support you through my private coaching program, which if you check the description box below or the about section of this YouTube channel, you're going to find a link. Look, if you're wanting to get into any of these courses, health related courses, and it doesn't matter whether you've got experience or not, I can guide you with this journey to get into healthcare. If you're already a healthcare professional, so you're a carer, for example, but you were a nurse or midwife back home and you want to transition, I can also guide you with that process, because as you know, the Nursing and Midwifery Council has kind of changed its rules and regulations, and you can now work in the UK as a nurse, you know what I mean, or midwife without IELTS or OET. Also, if you're keen on career progression in the UK to senior positions, I can guide you with that journey. How do you become a nurse endoscopist? How do you become a manager? How do you become a specialist nurse? You know, all of that, I can guide you with that journey, as well as applying for these courses so that you can go in for the best opportunity. So leave a comment in the comment section and say, Melvis, I will implement this. Because the truth is, if you're watching my videos, you don't want to be a spectator, watch video after video and do nothing. I need your word. I need you to implement the things that I'm talking about. So that is pathway number 1. Pathway number 2 is becoming a maternity support worker. Look, maternity support worker is like the carer version for midwives, obviously as per the name. And actually, as a tip, there are 2 ways to become a maternity support worker. You can simply apply for the job and, hope that you're going to be lucky and get through. Or option number 2, you can do an apprenticeship. So there is an apprenticeship to become a maternity support worker. Obviously, I absolutely love apprenticeships because it's on-the-job training. You are paid to learn. So again, you want to be looking out for these apprenticeships and applying. Also, if you're part of a private coaching program, if you go to your nursing community hub, you're going to see a tab on apprenticeship, and this has apprenticeships in healthcare, IT, all sorts of apprenticeships in the whole of the UK. So like I've said, if you're part of my private coaching program, once you log into your personal profile, you go to the nursing community hub, you go to where it says apprenticeships. If you click on that, you're going to see apprenticeships in healthcare with the NHS, all different sectors with the NHS. And you're also going to see apprenticeships in the IT sector so that you can apply and get trained on the job, be paid to learn. So that's option number 2, becoming a maternity support worker. Once you're a maternity support worker, you can then transition very easily into midwifery. Again, it's a smooth transition, just like a carer transitioning into nursing. It's something that is just a no-brainer. It's like a normal career progression pathway. So it is the same as well for our fellow colleagues, the midwives. So that's pathway number 2. And by the way, I want you to hit that like button. If you're enjoying this content, it lets me know that you enjoy content like this. And obviously, I should do more. Also, please do share this with your sisters, brothers, loved ones, colleagues, so that they can know about these pathways, they can benefit from this information, and they can also progress, succeed, excel, thrive in their own UK careers, because that's the whole point, isn't it? That is the point of this. I love career progression, and it is something that it's a no-brainer. If you're stuck in your current position, please, you need to do something about it, because there is support out there, there is guidance out there, and there are things that you can do to progress, to get out of your current situation. So like we've said, that is pathway number 2. Now, pathway number 3 is for people that trained overseas. So if you trained overseas as a midwife, you can work in the UK as a midwife without necessarily going through university again, because obviously you're already a qualified midwife. So this is regulated by the UK Nursing and Midwifery Council. So you've got to follow the process that they have put in place. If you're still out of the UK, obviously as a midwife, and you want to come work in the UK, you need to write your IELTS or OET, obviously. Then you need to do your CBT, follow the normal process to get your NMC PIN number. Once you get that PIN number, obviously you're a midwife that way, and it is smooth. And that's why I said this is kind of the cheapest of the pathways in terms of for people that are already qualified midwives. Again, I know that some countries are dual qualified, which means that you qualify as a nurse and as a midwife. So if you're part of this particular pathway and you fall in here, you need to be very smart which of the pathways you decide to register with the NMC as. What do I mean? Do you register as a nurse or do you register as a midwife? Because if you trained overseas and you register as a nurse, you can only apply for nursing jobs. if you want to work as a nurse or midwife, you've got to be registered with the NMC as a nurse and as a midwife. So again, these are some of the differences that the UK has compared to other countries. And if you choose to register with the NMC as a nurse and a midwife, you do need to fulfill all the conditions, to continue working as a nurse or continue staying on the register as a nurse. And you need to also fulfill all the conditions to continue staying on the NMC register as a midwife. So again, the choice is yours, but all the different options are there for you to choose. Again, if you're struggling with what's the best way to proceed, what's the best thing to do, you should consider, of course, joining my private coaching program where I can provide more information. But better still, there's another best option that you should do. You can go to the NMC website and find out that information, or contact the NMC, because as you know, they are the regulators for nurses, midwives, and nursing associates in this beautiful country, the UK. Now, pathway number 4. Pathway number 4 is an apprenticeship. So you can do an apprenticeship to become a midwife in the UK. With this pathway, whether you've got experience or not, you can simply apply to the apprenticeship. If you're successful, you're going to be paid. You're going to be paid in order for you to become a midwife. So you will have no tuition fees and you will be fully paid. Like, it is amazing. You get paid about 24,000 pounds per year. And so your employer will also pay your tuition fees. So the way this pathway works is that, and it's also 3 years. That's the interesting thing, because if you apply directly to university, it's going to take you 3 years to become a midwife. If you go through the apprenticeship route, it's only going to take you 3 years, the same, to also become a midwife. And it even gets more interesting because there are only 9 universities that are currently accredited to accept midwives through the apprenticeship program. So if you're keen on this pathway, like I said, there is a lot of research that you need to do. And if you want me to do a whole video on this pathway alone, the apprenticeship pathway for midwives, do leave it in the comment section below and I'll be able to do it. Or you can send me a message if it's something that you're keen on, and I'll be able to, talk more about it, really, if it's something that you're interested in. But there are only 9 universities that are currently accredited to offer midwifery as an apprenticeship. And the interesting thing, even more with this pathway, is you're going to be doing a course with people that are actually funding, so they're paying for themselves, and then you can have half of the class paying, half of the class that is not paying. And that's why information is so powerful, because now that you've watched this video and you know that there is an apprenticeship in midwifery, I'm sure that you're now going to have a look and say, oh, I was planning to pay and study midwifery, but I can now have a look. Am I entitled to do the apprenticeship and be funded? Am I able to meet the requirements to be funded for the apprenticeship? So those are the questions that you need to be asking. That's the research that you now need to do in order to find out. But like I've said, pathway number 1, which is where you apply directly to uni, is going to be fast because you're kind of more in control and there are more universities offering that particular one. With pathway number 4 of the apprenticeship, you're reliant on the employer, remember, because they're going to advertise the apprenticeship. You're going to apply, you're going to get shortlisted. You need to do an interview. Once you're successful, then you're going to be funded by that employer. They'll pay your tuition fees and pay you to become a midwife after 3 years. So again, what do you think about these pathways? I've done a similar video for nursing, with different pathways that you can become a nurse, without spending any money whatsoever. So with midwifery, you've got similar opportunities, but there are differences. Obviously, it's a completely different profession. So which is the best pathway that you like? Leave it in the comment section below. Why do you prefer that pathway? Do you want more information about any of these pathways? Again, leave it in the comment section. If you haven't joined my newsletter, I want you to check the comment section below. Join my free newsletter so that I can send info directly to your inbox. If you've got any questions, private and personal, you can also use my newsletter because it's got my contacts on there, and get in touch with me. But if you need that tailored, individualized, and personalized guidance, consider joining my private coaching program, which is where I offer that, because it just gives me access to a tight group of people where I know everybody, and it's just easier to work that way rather than just be all over the place with everybody. It's not effective. It just doesn't work. And it also helps with that implementation to carry through, because we have weekly live sessions where we go through that information. What do you need? What else have you got to do? So I'm looking forward to seeing you in that program, and I've attached the video here that I did about nursing apprenticeship, so you want to check that out.